strange world with Peace and Toodles.
Well, look who it is, Toodles. It's our fellow strangers back again.
Back again for another episode of Traversing the Strange World.
With Peace.
And Toodles, that's me.
That's Toodles. You're damn straight. Here we are now to feed you another pot of something funky and fresh. Another servings from the strange stew.
Satisfying those itching ears.
Yes, itching ears. So today, our discussion and the emphasis on this episode will be on an apocryphal text.
Apocryphal text. The Book
of
Tobit.
Tobit, yes.
So. Yes. What religion is Tobit?
That is going to be an Old Testament book. So it comes from it was a book that went in and out of the Hebrew Bible. It's in the book that we're going to be reading out of, actually, is the Rainbow Catholic Study Bible. What's
rainbow about it? What's that mean?
So every verse is colored with, like, each color represents a different theme. Like, so if it's a passage talking about faith, I think for an example, it's pink. So yeah,
see.
Many of the Catholic Bibles still has the Apocrypha in it. But
before we get too far into it,
yes, we have
Book
our
of
first
Tobit.
segment.
Tobit.
Our first segment of the show.
This is the updates, reflections, and ponderings of Peace and Toodles.
I like that.
Me too.
The little cellos.
I like that one better than the first one we made.
I concur.
Yes. So, Toodles, what have you been pondering? Got anything to update our fellow strangers with today?
I've been pondering this whole meditation versus psychedelic thing.
Okay.
Wondering, just thinking, not doing anything in practice, just contemplating. Yeah. You know how they say you meditate and spend years developing this skill, this practice, until, you do get some of the similar results that you do from psychedelics. Mm-hmm. And reminds me of that time with the mushrooms, The
macaroni.
Yes. Sorry. The champignons or
the
pizza
macaroni.
Topping.
Yeah.
We, you see things that, or at least from my experience, that I feel it's nothing that was new, just more intense. Going back to that OCD thing that we've covered, that I was going through when I was younger, some of the things that you force yourself to do is clearing your mind, or at least for like what I would do, and just like heavily focusing on doing something perfectly. So you could say that your intent is very strong. My intent was really strong. And, sometimes when you find yourself staring at a wall for 30 minutes, trying to not think of anything and controlling your breathing, it's kind of the same as meditation. And, that with the psychedelics, it's like some of the things you see, like the movement of things around where you're looking is very similar to what you can get through that, like, focused, empty-minded staring and just focusing your breathing, So I wonder if it's something that maybe I should start practicing a little bit. If I've already have a little bit of practice, maybe I got like a head start.
I was thinking about that too, because I was listening to the episode we did with Professor Northrop. Shout out to Michael Northrop.
For sure.
And he talked about being able to attain that state through drumming and through meditation. I know it to be a psychological fact that you can do it through the meditation, not because like I've done it through meditation, but Sam Harris, he's a neuroscientist, he's experienced that himself through meditation. So
dude, some of the things that Northrop covered kind of blew my mind a little bit. I've never gotten to sit down with somebody with his experience before. I've always only listened to it.
Yes.
Because I listen to other podcasts like this one. Like my whole genre that I listen to in podcasts, either business and finance, or conspiracy and obscure like this.
Right.
You know?
And I like with Northrop that there's not a single thing that I could bring up within the spiritual or religious realm, since he's a professor of religion, that I could bring up that he wouldn't know about. And on top of that, he knows about stuff I don't know about, you know? So there's nothing I couldn't bring up,
yeah.
and he has so much knowledge about religion on top of that.
It's not just religion for him. It's practice.
Yes.
He lives what he studies.
And
he lives what he talks.
Yes, we're hoping to do another episode with him, and Jake is going to join us along on it. Jake Abs, who has appeared in previous episodes. We're going to be discussing, like, in particularly how different cultures have practiced ancestor honor and just rituals around that.
Maybe the listeners will feel differently, in which case let us know. But he's one of the people that I want the most to be a repeat guest.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I'm glad we're on board with that, because I was thinking the same thing.
On top of that, like, he's got a great voice for it, too.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Like, the dots all connect with this guy, you know?
Yep.
It's just, he's easy to listen to. He's well-spoken. He doesn't stutter or stumble or try to find words. He just says it clear, concise, with a good voice, with tons of knowledge backing it up, tons of practice behind the knowledge that he has, too. He's like a perfect guest.
Yes, I agree.
Still my favorite.
I agree.
Still my favorite interview so far.
Me too. So far. And who knows, you know, in the strange world, time is not in order. So maybe that episode that I'm talking about has already came out. Maybe it will.
Not to discredit anybody else that we've interviewed.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just saying,
no.
he's, I don't know, there's like a kindred spirit, I guess.
And I think it's like, it's a combination of knowledge, and it's things we're interested in, and we know a little bit about, a little bit enough to be intrigued, but we don't know enough to, we lack enough knowledge about it to be, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
It's always fun to have one of those moments where your mind gets blown. Because, like, the further down rabbit holes of interest you go, the less that happens, because you end up hearing it all. And he's one of those that just sitting there, like, listening to stuff about, like, soul retrieval and this story that he told about in a dream, I think it was, where he met this guy that told him to go to Africa and all that.
That's where he met his husband.
Dude.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And it turns out, the guy that he was seeing was the grandfather of his now husband that he was seeing in the, like, the dream world, not in person, telling him to go to Africa where he met his husband. And then it turns out that the person he was talking to in the dream world, this is like, I believe after they got married, he met this guy who was the grandfather who had Alzheimer's, dementia.
Oh, yeah, using a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, that kind of thing. You hear the story, and it's like, oh, that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. But it's always through, like anybody that listens to our podcast is the same way. You're listening, there's that barrier of separation, right? We're on the other side of the airwaves with the mics in the studio. Listeners are out, whatever, at work or at the gym, wherever they're listening, but there's a separation there. But when you're sitting right there at a table with the guy that's telling you these stories that he's actually experienced, you know, at first there's a little bit of skepticism, like, oh, yeah, I've heard this before, but he's genuine. He's sincere,
and he's
you know?
very,
I believe him.
He's a very rational person as well, you know.
I could tell that.
Orderly life, you can tell he, throughout his life, has made good. So it's like one thing of, like, somebody who's, like, seems kind of crazy, but he's like, he's a informed, educated, rational person.
That's the thing. Like, you hear some of the extreme stories without the context of who the person is or what they've studied or learned or been through, and it seems crazy. But when you sit down and talk to this guy before recording, after recording, during recording, it's like, I believe him. I believe everything he said.
And who knows, maybe when we tell our stories about macaroni and the strange effects of macaroni, maybe that since it's something unexperienced and kind of unintegrated to some people, that might sound crazy, which I totally understand that. I don't understand what's going on with that, where like certain repressed things start becoming unrepressed. You start feeling inspired and really motivated and invigorated. Memories come back. Macaroni is an interesting experience, to say the least.
It is. I don't think I ate enough to get full, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No, like to get like macaroni. Completely full.
Didn't have to experience the fullness. Ego death macaroni experience. Yeah.
But it did
honestly
teach me some things, put things into a different perspective than I previously had.
Honestly, when it comes to macaroni nowadays, I've been kind of approaching it with more caution and more, just because it has been something that's been very effective to me, and what I also see it as very mysterious, and so I have kind of a reverence for the process. I think I don't want to do another, big macaroni experience unless it's in the context again with like a shaman to guide it, just because that's kind of right. I'm trying to take it serious and maybe give it a little reverence, and again, maybe that sounds crazy, but it's a very effective and mysterious experience, and that's why I approach it that way. So lately, just a little bit of macaroni microdosing and microniing, yeah, and
micronies.
But
you got a random update.
What's that?
It's fall and the corn is getting harvested.
It
is the season.
I love this weather lately.
And now I got a different trailer on the truck and I'm hauling husklage, the leftover. So you got silage, right? Which you get your corn and you strip everything off the ear. The ear goes to wherever the harriet goes, soup canneries and whatever.
Feed mills.
Then you got the silage, the chopped up leaves after. Well, if you don't chop them up, it's husklage, which they feed to the cows.
Or the pigs.
So we get these big old trailers full and we'll haul them out to the farms, dump them out on a big old pile. We'll go back to the facility, get some more.
One of these days, maybe you'll be bringing some out to my dad's place.
He's not on the list.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, my dad has somebody bringing out. Speaking of them.
By the trucks?
What?
By the semi-loads?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has like 10 cows at least, They eat it up.
That's it.
Speaking of,
hey, would he sell me some cows?
Probably.
Like one for next year?
Probably.
Like butchered around?
Buy like half a beef or a full beef?
Depends how fast we go through the... I just got one for my grandpa. We got a whole one. And I got to get a deep freeze one of these days to put it in, but we're going to see how fast we go through it and reevaluate, Maybe we'll run out and won't even make it a year. Maybe we'll have half of it left after a year. I don't know.
What do we get on time?
I might be interested, though, in getting some from somebody.
All right.
What kind of cows does he have?
He has Hereford.
We got Jerseys right now.
Oh, there's much more meat and fat on the Hereford than
I know,
Jersey.
dude. Jerseys are little. And their fat is like yellow. Mm-hmm. The fat's it's like neon colored.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. But that's all we got, so it's not a huge cow, but it's tasty.
Speaking of my parents' place, though, I was just out there earlier this week. They were out in Utah. My little brother Josiah was at a big rodeo championship, and I wanted to get a few books that we're going to be using today on the podcast. We're going to be using one of them, and then we're going to be using a few others. One of them was the Apocrypha. The other is...
Which is a broad term for many books that aren't in the Bible.
Yes.
It's not like the Apocrypha is like a book.
Yes, it's the Rainbow Catholic Study Bible that we mentioned earlier. And it's funny, I was looking around their house for it because they told me to go ahead and take any books that I want. Because some of them are mine that I left there. And ironically, I was struggling to find the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha means the hidden. And ironically, the Bible was in a bookcase, a Bible case, and that's why I couldn't find it. So the Apocrypha was hidden within a Bible case, but I found it. I also found the Sefer HaAgada, the Book of Legends. That is a collection of folklore and tales from the Talmud. And then the other one is Lost
Books of the Bible.
Lost and Rejected Books of the Bible, and tells First and Second Adam Eve
By Joseph Lumpkin, which
Yes.
so it has his commentaries between the books and intros to them and all that.
the Apocalypse of Abraham, all kinds of books you guys probably haven't heard of yet.
It's crazy that you have that book, so I was thinking about getting it, actually.
Well, now you
I've
don't have
looked
to.
at it specifically on Amazon. I was like, that
New
is an
additions
expensive
to
book.
the growing library of Peace and Toodles, the strange library.
If you were to unpack all the books that I still have in boxes, because I didn't put my shelves up yet, because I got to get my planer here to blah, blah, blah. Dude, I got so many books.
Yeah.
I probably have like 200 pounds of books.
Shit.
And most of it's all like entrepreneur stuff, though. A little bit of religion, mostly just finance.
Oh, that's like 90%, probably 95% of any book that belongs to me. It's going to be
Religion?
it's going to be religion. But,
Just got this 9/11 as a mass ritual book that I have cracked, and whew, there's too much in there to even go over, man. That's like 2 podcasts in itself. But man, it's one of them books where it's like you can't even take notes on it because like every paragraph is a note. It's like just stuffed with information. Maybe we should read some excerpts sometime.
Oh yeah, I'd be down for that. So one last thing that I've been pondering before, and then we'll move to the meat of the discussion.
I'm pondering why you keep wearing those short shorts.
Oh,
man.
yeah, they're
These
back
things are
again,
like
baby.
2
They're back
inches.
again, the famous shorts. I was at the gym just before I came here. But one thing I've been pondering is, we're at about roughly, who knows what order this will go in precisely, but we're at a roughly episode 30. Like the 30-point buck. But
Did you see the 30-pointer?
Did you see the 30-pointer?
I can't believe you know that song. That's obscure.
Hey, if you've heard that song, comment 30-point buck.
Who sings it? I forget.
Don't ask me.
Dang it.
But
It's a classic for rednecks, I guess.
we're at roughly episode 30, and we don't talk about it a lot. You've probably noticed it just in our typical discussions, unpacking the Bible or really anything related to belief. But, our 2 main co-hosts here, Isaiah and Jonathan, Peace and Toodles. He's Christian. I'm agnostic. Politically, he would be more conservative. Politically, I'm probably more of a centrist, maybe lately tad left-leaning centrist, but I would like to take a second to actually celebrate that and emphasize on, I might say something, he might say something. That doesn't make it the consensus view of the podcast. In this podcast, you're going to hear a variety of point of views. At the end of the day, the consensus view of the podcast is one should be curious, inquisitive, remember to be neighborly. In the process of doing it all, good God, don't forget the swag. But otherwise,
The constant state of learning, regardless of what you believe.
Otherwise, we celebrate that we're,
When you close your mind to not accept new truths or just information, then you don't really have much growing left that you can do.
Yeah. And I thought that would be a cool opportunity in maybe upcoming episodes to maybe discuss, every now and then have an episode discussing some social issues. They can be very strange. And
Maybe like current events.
not so much political events as much as social things. Like we had talked about having a discussion about masculinity, for example. So I'd say more social than political. But
So the 30-point buck is saying by bananas at large.
okay, all right. Just so you know. So you have that info. But I would say let's get ready to hop in this strange stew and get it boiling. You ready?
The Book of Tobit.
Book of Tobit.
I don't know why I always thought it was Tovit with a V.
This might be a 2-part episode.
No way.
No?
Well, yeah, it might be. We gotta talk about that cat thing, though, at some point.
What are you talking about?
The black cat.
Oh, actually, no, dude.
You think
there's
that's why?
there's actually a part in this story where I think that'll fit perfectly. It's this passage from the Talmud he wants me to read.
The Talmud. My bad.
That's in relation to how a particular rabbi taught one can attain seeing demons.
Tobit's about all these husbands.
Yes, a lady who had a lot of husbands. Okay. Yeah,
my bad. We were just talking about the Talmud before we started recording, so my bad.
Do you want to read the Talmud instead of Tobit today?
No,
we've already met. Yeah.
Talmud's like freaking massive.
Hey, I'm flexible, man. That's why I wear these short shorts. Yes, the Talmud is massive. This is the Sefer Haggadah, so it's kind of the Talmud it consists of Mishnah, Haggadah, Gemara, all kind. It's rabbinic legal discussions, so it's a huge book. This is just a small portion of it.
One of these days, I'm gonna find a paper copy of the Apologies of Utterstes, because I really want to do that freaking book on here. It's an apocryphal book about this homie named Utterstes, and he uttered these things to the king of Rome about, I think it was the king of Rome, about he lists, and this was
that'd be the emperor, by the way.
It was an old biblical text, right? And if this was in the Bible, it's the one book where you actually get to read the names of pretty much every god that, like, from Zeus to El to, like, everything, man. And Horus, like, all of them are mentioned.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just like, if this is a god, then why did he fall from heaven and blah, blah, blah. This obviously isn't a god. And he goes and, like, says about all of them, like, this isn't a true God because of X, Y, Z. The true God is the God of the Old Testament. And that's basically the gist of the book.
Right.
But it's interesting to read because you wouldn't expect so many different names to be mentioned in something that was in the Bible.
Right. Well, it's an apology, you know. It's an apology. An apology is it's said believer giving a defense for the faith, right? So in that context, he was addressing the gods of the vast empire that.
Well, it's obviously not a monotheistic book because he doesn't say that they're just straight up not gods. He says they're not the true God. They're
yes.
They're not the most powerful God.
That's a good point. Well, the belief of a lot of early Christians was that these gods were either demons or fallen angels, you know. Because that was like synchronism, the way like the one culture would make the gods of another culture fit into their belief system. So with pagan ones, they would say, well, this god's actually this god, you know, who's our god. So, they're just the same one. But like with Christianity, they're like, this god is actually a fallen angel.
So there's a belief that demons are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Where does that belief come from? I remember hearing about it.
A few, I think I want to say as first or second Esdras. It's probably one of the apocryphal books. I think the Talmud won't say just one particular thing about what a demon is in particular. Like there's passages where it'll say it's like your seed that falls on the ground, like when you masturbate and you climax, and they would say that creates demons. But so
really?
Like, yeah. I think there's a variety of ideas about it in the Talmud, but that one might be in there. I'm thinking in the upcoming episode we do a stilly about the devil. We're going to cover quite a bit of devil demon folklore, and
what if you're
probably go over and
what if it's swallowed? Does that make demons?
That's a good question. Maybe when we have a rabbi on here, we'll ask him. Well, and nowadays in Judaism, demons don't really play a very big part, you know. So just because it's in the Talmud in particular doesn't mean it's necessarily an idea embraced by Judaism today, per se.
Well, let's get into Tobit.
Yeah, I agree. Got the Apocrypha sitting right there.
Oh, do you want it?
We're going to have Grandpa Jonathan read, and Uncle Isaiah will sit here and give commentary. And Grandpa Jonathan, or Toodles, will pause and give commentary when he sees something interesting. I want to say it's on page 1064.
946.
Damn it.
Not even close. Are we reading all of it?
Like I said today, it might be a two-parter.
Well, all right. Hey, at least the text is big so I can read it.
The Book of Tobit was most likely
This
written
is Rainbow.
around 220, between 175 and 225 BCE. It's a lot of books you'll see, like First, Second Maccabees, this book. A lot of these books around this era of the Jewish history, they really emphasized on like the suffering of the righteous. The Book of Job, which was written not as early as a lot of believers believe it was. Yeah, it was a very late book. And many of these late books emphasize on the suffering of the righteous. That was an idea that started to kind of evolve within Jewish culture. Like the older books of the Bible, of the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, it'll put an emphasis on, maybe some of the heroes, they experience like David or Moses, they experience like hardship, but a lot of times the theme is God's people being blessed and they're being punished because they turn their back on God, to where the emphasis on these later books is righteous people. It's stories of the righteous suffering. And I think that's an example of the Jewish culture going from a more war-centered culture to a smaller culture living within an empire, a bigger empire, and that means they are dominated. They didn't have this war power that they had when they wrote previous books.
So you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. The Book of Tobit. I am Tobit, and this is the story of my life. It's pretty straightforward. My dad was Tobiel, my granddaddy was Ananiel, and my great-granddaddy was Aduel. Aduel's father was Gabriel, his grandfather was Raphael, and his great-grandfather was Raguel, who belonged to the clan of Asiel, part of the tribe of Naphtali. During the time that Shalmaneser was emperor of Assyria, I was taken captive in my hometown of Thisbe, located in northern Galilee, south of Kadesh and Naphtali, northwest of Hazor, and north of Fogor. All my life, I've been honest and have tried to do what is right. I often gave money to help the needy relatives and other Jews who had been deported with me to Nineveh, the capital of Assyria. When I was young, I lived in northern Israel. All the tribes in Israel were supposed to offer sacrifices in Jerusalem.
So there's that theme of righteous man suffering.
It was the one city that God had chosen from among all the Israelite cities as the place where his temple was to be built for his holy and eternal home. But my entire tribe of Naphtali rejected the city of Jerusalem, and the kings descended from David. Like everyone else in this tribe, my own family used to go to the city of Dan in the mountains of northern Galilee to offer sacrifices to the gold bull calf, which King Jeroboam of Israel had set up there. I was the only one in my family who regularly went to Jerusalem to celebrate the religious festivals, as the law of Moses commands everyone to do. I would hurry off to Jerusalem with the first part of my harvest, the firstborn of my animals, a tenth of my cattle, and the freshly clipped wool from my sheep. Then I would stand before the altar in the temple and give these offerings to the priests, the descendants of Aaron. I would give a tenth of my grain, wine, olive oil, pomegranates, figs, and other fruits to the Levites who serve God in Jerusalem. Every year, except the 7th year when the land was at rest, I would sell a second tenth of my possessions and spend the money in Jerusalem on the festival meal. But every 3rd year, I would give a 3rd tithe to widows and orphans and to foreigners living among my people, and we would eat the festival meal together. I did this in keeping with the law of Moses, which Deborah, the mother of my grandfather Ananiel, had taught me to obey. I had been left an orphan when my father died. When I grew up, I married Anna, a member of my own tribe. We had a son and named him Tobias. Later, I was taken captive and deported to Assyria, and that is how I came to live in Nineveh.
So this is claiming to be a very old story, taking place before even the Babylonian exile.
Yeah, this translation is very easy reading.
Before the destruction of the first temple, even, and before the building of the second. Well, and it was built much after the building of the second, actually.
While we lived in Nineveh, all my relatives and the other Jews used to eat the same kind of food as the other people who lived there, but I refused to do so. Since I took seriously the commands of the Most High God, he made Emperor Shalmaneser respect me, and I was placed in charge of purchasing all the emperor's supplies.
Kind of reminiscent of the Book of Daniel. There.
Yes, or Joseph.
Israelites deported to a foreign land, refusing to eat certain foods, but then they gain favor with the man in power.
Before the emperor died, I made regular trips to the land of Media to buy things for him there. Once, when I was in the city of Rages in Media, I left some bags of money there with Gabriel.
Makes me think of Rage Against the Machine.
Rages in Media. I left some bags of money there with Gabriel, Gabriel's brother, and asked him to keep them for me.
Those who die are justified.
There were more than 600 pounds of silver coins in those bags. That poor camel. When Shalmaneser died, his son Sennacherib succeeded him as emperor. It soon became so dangerous to travel on the roads in Media that I could no longer go there. While Shalmaneser was still emperor, I took good care of my own people whenever they were in need. If they were hungry, I shared my food with them. If they needed clothes, I gave them some of my own. Whenever I saw the dead body of one of my people thrown outside the city wall, I gave it a decent burial. One day, Sennacherib cursed God, the king of heaven. God punished him, and Sennacherib had to retreat from Judah. On his way back to Media, he was so furious that he killed many Israelites, but I secretly removed the bodies and buried them, and when Sennacherib later searched for the bodies, he couldn't find them. Then someone from Nineveh told the emperor that I was the one who had been burying his victims.
Why would they do that?
Freaking
jerks.
Rats.
This is your archaic Karen.
Snitches get stitches, man. As soon as I realized that the emperor knew all about me and that my life was in danger, I became frightened, understandably. So I ran away and hid. Everything I owned was seized and put into the royal treasury. My wife Anna and my son Tobias were all I had left. About 6 weeks later, 2 of Sennacherib's sons assassinated him and then escaped to the mountains of Ararat. Another son,
Book of Isaiah talks about this.
Esarhaddon,
2 Kings,
became emperor and put Ahikar, my brother Anael's son, in charge of all the financial affairs of the empire. This was actually the second time Ahikar was appointed to this position, for when Sennacherib was emperor of Assyria, Ahikar had been wine steward, treasurer, and accountant, and had been in charge of the official seal. Since Ahikar was my nephew, he put in a good word for me with the emperor, and I was allowed to return to Nineveh. When I returned home, I was reunited with my wife Anna and my son Tobias. At the Harvest Festival, which is also called the Festival of Weeks, I sat down to a delicious meal. When I saw how much food was there on the table, I said to Tobias, "Son, go out and find one of our people who's living in poverty here in exile, someone who takes God's command seriously. Bring him back with you so that he can share this festival meal with us.
Don't get a heathen.
I won't start eating until you come back." So Tobias went out to look for such a person, but he quickly returned shouting, "Father, Father!" "Yes, what is it?" I asked. "One of our people has just been murdered. Someone strangled him and threw his body into the marketplace." I jumped up and left the table without even touching my food. I removed the body from the street and carried it to a little shed where I left it until sunset, when I could bury it.
So it's showing he's a very saintly individual. Yep.
Then I returned home and washed so as to purify myself. In deep sorrow, I ate my dinner. I was reminded of what the prophet Amos had said to the people of Bethel. "Your festivals will be turned into funerals, and your glad songs will become cries of grief." I began to weep. After sunset, I went out, dug a grave, and buried the man. My neighbors thought I was crazy. "Haven't you learned anything?" they asked. "You've already been hunted down once for burying the dead, and you would have been killed if you had not run away. But here you are doing the same thing all over again." That night I washed so as to purify myself, and went out into my courtyard to sleep by the wall. It was a hot night, and I guess they didn't have beds. It was a hot night, and I did not pull the cover up over my head. Sparrows were on the wall right above me, but I did not know it. Their warm droppings fell into my eyes, causing a white film to form on them. I went to one doctor after another, but the more they treated me with their medicines, the worse my eyes became, until finally I was completely blind.
Maybe that's what actually made his eyes worse.
Dang sparrows.
Is the archaic forms of doctor.
For 4 years, I could see nothing. My relatives were deeply concerned about my condition, and Ahikar supported me for 2 years before he went to the land of Elam. After Ahikar left, my wife, Anna, had to go to work, so she took up weaving, like many other women. The people she worked for could pay her when she delivered the cloth. One spring day, she cut a finished piece of cloth from the loom and took it to the people who had ordered it. They paid her the full price and also gave her a goat. When Anna came home with the goat, it began to bleat. I called out, "Where did you get that goat from? You stole it, didn't you? Take it straight back to its owners. It's not right to eat stolen food." "No," she replied. "It was given to me as a gift, in addition to what I got for the cloth." But I didn't believe her, and I blushed for shame for what she had done. I ordered her to return the goat to its owners, but she had the last word. "Now I see what you are really like," she shouted. "Where is all that concern of yours for others? What about all those good deeds you used to do?" It sounds like a typical husband and wife argument to me. Tobit's prayer.
Now the truth comes out.
I was so embarrassed and ashamed that I sighed and began to cry. Then as I choked back my tears, I prayed, "You are righteous, O Lord. You are merciful in all you do, faithful in all your ways. You are the judge of this world. I beg you, treat me with kindness. Do not punish me for my sins, not even for sins which I am unaware. My ancestors rebelled and disobeyed your commands, but do not punish me for their sins. You let our people be plundered, taken captive, and killed. You made an example of our people, an object of contempt and disgrace in all the nations where you scattered us. You have often judged my ancestors for their sins and punished me for mine. We were disloyal and rejected your commands, so our punishment has always been just. Now treat me as you please. Take my life away from me and free me from this world. Let my body return to the earth. It would be better off if I was dead."
Reminiscent of Job.
"I'm tormented by insults I don't deserve and weighed down with despair. Lord, give the commands. Bring all my troubles to an end. Take me to my eternal rest. Don't reject my prayer. I would rather die than live in misery and face such cruel insults." Man, his wife really affected him. This poor guy.
It was also kind of like Job did that as well when he had a fight with his wife.
He did.
You know, that's kind of like it's very archetypal. You know, you get in a fight with your wife, and then you're like, "Why, God? Why is life this way?"
This dude wants to die. All he did was say, "Return the goat." She said, "I didn't steal it." And he wants to die.
Accusing me of being a thief.
That same day these names are wild. That same day in the city of Ecbatana in Media, it happened that Sarah, the daughter of a man named Raguel, was insulted by one of her father's servant women. Sarah had been married 7 times, but the evil demon Asmodeus, hey, he's in Supernatural, killed each husband before the marriage could be consummated. Well, that sucks. The servant woman said to Sarah, "You husband killer, look at you. You've already had 7 husbands, but none of them lived long enough to give you a son. Why should you take it out on us? Why don't you go and join your dead husbands? I hope we never see a child of yours." Damn. Sarah was so depressed that she burst into tears and went upstairs, determined to hang herself.
As anybody would.
But when she thought it over, she said to herself, "No, I won't do it. People would insult my father and say, 'You had only one child, a daughter whom you loved dearly, but she hanged herself because she felt so miserable. Such grief would bring my gray-haired father to his grave.
Example.
I would be responsible.'"
That's kind of a good example of how the ancient world did view women, in the sense of like their value was seen through how
in childbearing
in relation to like a man. Yeah, her value is like, oh, if I die, it's gonna make my dad look bad.
Well, she didn't want to make him so sad that he'd die.
He was just mean to her. He was like, "I hope we never see any children of you." Like, that's some mean shit. And then she's just
no,
like...
the servant woman said that to her.
Oh, okay.
Not her poor old gray-haired daddy.
Oh.
"I won't kill myself. I'll just
women
beg
being
the
mean to
Lord
each other.
Just like Tobit. I won't kill myself. I'll just beg to the Lord to let me die. Then I won't have to listen to those insults any longer. Then Sarah stood by the window, raised her arms in prayer, and said, God of mercy, worthy of our praise, may your name always be honored. May all your creation praise you forever. Lord, I look to you for help. Speak the word and set me free from this life. Then I will no longer have to bear these insults. You know, O Lord, that I'm still a virgin. I've never been defiled by a man. Never have I disgraced myself or my father's name, as long as we've lived in this land of exile. My father has no other child to be his heir, and there's no relative whom I can marry. I've already lost 7 husbands, so why should I live any longer? But if it is not your will to take my life, at least show mercy to me. Don't let me hear these insults again. As Tobit and Sarah were praying, apparently it was at the same time, God in heaven heard their prayers and sent his angel Raphael to help them. He was sent to remove the white film from Tobit's eyes so that he could see again, and to arrange a marriage between Sarah and Tobit's son Tobias.
Make an excellent movie.
As her cousin, has the right to marry her. Raphael was also ordered to expel the demon Asmodeus from Sarah. Oh, so he was like in her. Okay. She was possessed. At the very moment that Tobit went back into his house from the courtyard, Sarah, in her house in Ecbatana... at the very moment that Tobit went back into his house from the courtyard, Sarah, in her house in Ecbatana, was coming downstairs. That same day, Tobit remembered the money that he had left with Gabriel at Rages and Media. He thought to himself, now that I've asked God to let me die, I should call my son Tobias and tell him about the money. So they had cell phones. So Tobit called Tobias and said to him, Son, when I die, give me a proper burial, and after I'm gone, show respect to your mother. Take care of her for the rest of her life, and when she dies, bury her beside me. Remember, she risked her life to bring you into this world, so try to make her happy and never do anything that would worry her.
Don't
so
stress
this
out your
guy's
mom.
like, hey, I'm not going to take care of my responsibilities to my wife, so as my son, take care of her. Every day of your life, keep the Lord our God in mind. Never sin deliberately or disobey any of his commands. Always do what is right and never get involved in anything evil. Be honest and you will succeed in whatever you do. Give generously to anyone who faithfully obeys God. If you're stingy in giving to the poor, God will be stingy in giving to you. Give according to what you have. The more you have, the more you should give. Even if you only have a little, be sure to give something. This is as good as money saved. You will have your reward in a time of trouble. Taking care of the poor is the kind of offering that pleases God in heaven. Do this, and you will be kept safe from the dark world of the dead.
Leaving his legacy with his son.
Son, be on your guard against prostitutes. Above all, marry a woman of our tribe, because we are descendants of the prophets. Do not marry anyone who's not related to us. Remember that Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our earliest ancestors, all married relatives. God bless
Don't go after no slut. Marry a cousin.
God bless
No
them
heathen.
with children, and so their descendants will inherit the land of Israel. Son, be loyal to your own relatives. Don't be too proud to marry one of them. Such pride leads to terrible frustration and ruin, just as laziness brings on severe poverty and causes starvation. Pay your workers every day. Never keep back their wages overnight. Honor God in this way, and he will reward you. Behave properly at all times. Never do to anyone else anything that you would not want someone to do to you. Do not drink so much wine that you get drunk, and do not let drinking become a habit. Give food to the hungry and clothes to the people in need. If you're prosperous, give it generously and do it gladly. When one of God's faithful people has died, prepare food for the family. But never do this when someone evil dies.
Don't give them nothing. No food. No food for them.
Take the advice of sensible people and never treat any useful advice lightly. Take advantage of every opportunity to praise the Lord your God. Ask him to make you prosper in whatever you set out to do. He does not give his wisdom to the people of any other nation. He's the source of all good things, but he can also destroy you and bring you to certain death if he wishes.
So in summary, son, be neighborly and kind to people. Stay away from lewd women. Don't make food for the family of bad people. They can go hungry. Fear God most of all.
Huh. God doesn't give his wisdom to the people of any other nation. Well, frick. Here we are. Stuck over here in the West.
I don't know about that. That's like the Definitely doesn't fall in line with other passages in the Bible where there's a Gentile that clearly does. They're painting them as a wise person.
Rahab, too.
Yeah.
Remember all my instructions. Don't forget them for 1 minute. Tobias, I want you to know that I once left a large sum of money with Gabriel's son, Gabriel, at Rages in Media.
His eyes widen.
It's Rages in Media, dude.
Those who try, I touch them.
We're poor now, but don't worry. If you obey God and avoid sin, he will be pleased with you and make you prosperous. Then Tobias answered his father, I'll do everything you told me. How can I get the money back from Gabriel? We have never even met each other. How can I prove to him who I am, so that he'll trust me and give me the money? Besides that, I don't know how to get out of Media, or how to get to Media. Tobit replied, Gabriel and I both signed a document. I then tore it in two, and we each took a half. I put his half with his money. I put his half with the money. That was 20 years ago. Now, go and find a reliable person to travel with you to Media and back, and we will pay him when you return. But you must get the money that I left with Gabriel. Tobias then went out to look for someone who knew the way to Media and will travel with him. Almost as soon as he left the house, he found himself face to face with Raphael. Tobias did not know that Raphael was an angel of God, so he asked him where he was from. I'm an Israelite, Raphael answered, one of your distant relatives, and I have come here to Nineveh to find work. Do you know the way to Media? Tobias asked. Yes, I do, Raphael replied. I've been there many times, and I know all the roads well. I used to stay with our relative Gabriel, who lives there in the town of Rages.
He's like, hey!
That's perfect.
I know him. That's where I'm going.
It takes at least 2 days to travel there from Ecbatana, the capital city, because Rages is up in the mountains. Then Tobias said to Raphael, Wait here for me, my friend, while I go and tell my father. I would like you to travel with me, and I will pay you for the journey. All right, Raphael said. I'll wait, but don't take too long. Tobias went in and told his father, I found an Israelite to travel with me. Call the man in, Tobit replied. I would like to know what family and tribe he belongs to, and whether he's a reliable traveling companion for you. So Tobias went out and called Raphael. My father would like to meet you. When Raphael came in, Tobit greeted him first. Then Raphael returned the greeting. I hope all is well with you. But Tobit replied, How can all be well with me? I'm blind and can't see a thing. It's like being dead, no longer able to see the light. I might as well be dead. I can hear people talking, but I can't see them.
I've met a few old people like that. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Then they give you this, my life is terrible.
Cheer up, Raphael said to him. God is going to cure you soon, so don't worry. Tobit then said, My son Tobias wants to go to Media. Can you go with him and show him the way? I will pay you, of course. Raphael replied, Certainly I can go with him. I've traveled there many times, and I know all the roads in the mountains and on the plains. Tobit questioned him further. Tell me, my friend, what family and tribe do you belong to? But Raphael asked, Why do you need to know that? Tell me the truth, said Tobit. What is your name, and who are you? Raphael replied, My name is Azarias, and I am the son of the older Ananias, one of your relatives. Then Tobit said to him, Welcome to our home. God bless you, my son. Please don't be offended because I wanted to know the truth about you or your family. As it turns out, you are from a good family, and a relative at that. I knew Ananias and Nathan, the two sons of the older Shemaiah. They were always loyal to their religion. We used to travel together to Jerusalem and worship there. Your relatives are fine people, and you come from good stock. Have a safe journey. Tobit continued, I will pay for the normal daily wage plus expenses for both of you. Be a good companion to Tobias, and I will add a bonus to your wages. I will go with him, Raphael said, and don't worry, we will get there and back safely. The roads are not dangerous. God be with you, Tobit replied. Then he called Tobias and said to him, Son, get everything ready that you need for the journey so that the two of you can be on your way. May God and his angel watch over you both and bring you back to me safe and sound. Before leaving for Media, Tobias kissed his father and mother goodbye. Tobit said again, Have a safe journey. Then his mother began to cry. How could you send my son away like this? She complained. He's our only means of support. Who will take care of us now? Is that money so important to you that you're willing to risk your own son's life to get it back? Why can't we be content to live on what the Lord has given us? Calm down, Tobit.
Be quiet.
Calm down, Tobit said to her. He'll get there and back safely, and with your own eyes you'll see him return home safe and sound. Now stop worrying about them, dear. A good angel will go with Tobias. He will have a successful journey and will come back in good health. At that, Anna calmed down and stopped crying. So Tobias and the angel started out toward Media, taking Tobias's dog along with them. It's like the only good dog in any biblical thing ever. The dogs are always like these dirty,
they eat Jezebel,
leftover pickers.
They're mentioned in a bad context.
They walked on until sunset, then camped by the Tigris River. Tobias had gone down to wash his feet in the river when suddenly a huge fish jumped out of the water and tried to swallow one of his feet. Tobias let out a yell, and the angel called to him, "Grab that fish! Won't let it get away. He's noodling." It must have been a catfish.
Fiddle starts playing at this in the scene. Everybody's jumping in the water. Fish slipping out of their hands. The dog's just standing there barking. Ruff, ruff.
All right. Then Tobias grabbed the fish and dragged it up on the bank. Cut the fish open, the angel instructed. And take out its gallbladder, heart, and liver. Keep these with you. They can be used for medicine, but throw away the guts.
Wonder what he's going to do with this.
See, in Enoch, when the angels taught mankind things, it was considered a sin.
Yeah.
The sons of or the fallen angels. But here we got Raphael teaching him some medicinal things, and it doesn't say that's bad.
Yeah. I think it's best to look at all biblical text as they are not, what's the word that Dan from Data Over Dogma uses? Univocality. They're not all going to say, don't go off the premise that every author agreed and believed the same thing. They all collectively believed in the same God, but they had different opinions about him.
Mm-hmm. Tobias did as the angel had told him. Then he cooked the fish, ate part of it, and salted the rest to take along with him. The two continued on together until they were near Media. Then Tobias asked, "Azarias, my friend, what diseases can be cured by this gallbladder, heart, and liver?" The angel answered, "The heart and liver can be burned and used to chase away a demon or an evil spirit that is tormenting someone. The attacks will stop immediately, and the person will never be troubled again." If that's not witchcraft, I don't know what the hairy is.
Again,
so Raphael himself,
it sounds like in that past episode we did, we talked about the priest at a temple. They'd write these curses on a scroll, scrape it into a glass of bitter water. We don't know what that it was. They would scrape it in there. Then the woman, if she's caught in adultery, she'd drink it. And if she had legitimately committed adultery, her thigh would rot and her belly would swell. So
is this before the New Testament?
Like we talked about with Brittany from Modern Day Witch.
Yeah.
Like some things, like other cultures do the same thing as like the biblical culture. It's just when they do it, it's called pagan or magic. Right. When they all might believe something pretty similar.
So the heart and liver can be burned and used to chase away a demon. Mm-hmm. Is this before Jesus?
Yes.
This book.
Yes. Yeah, it's about.
So it went from hearts and livers to
years.
using Jesus' name, and that's the difference. Mm-hmm. Or it went from hearts and livers to prayer and fasting.
Mm-hmm. To where it's odd in John. It's one of the only times Jesus performs a miracle in this way. He spits in the clay and uses clay to open up the eyes of a blind man. Because that's not very common to happen.
What's coming up? You can use the gallbladder to treat someone whose eyes are covered with a white film. Well, I wonder who that's talking about. Just rub it on his eyes and blow on the film, and he will be able to see again. Hey, you want to find a blind guy and rub some gallbladder from a fish in his eyes and blow on him?
You can.
We should
Let me know
put
how
this
it goes,
to test. We should try it. On the way to Ecbatana. When they had reached Media and were approaching the city of Ecbatana, Raphael said, "Tobias, my friend." "Yes, what is it?" Tobias asked. Raphael continued, "Tonight we will stay at the home of your relative Raguel. He has only one child, a daughter named Sarah, and since you are her closest relative, you have the right to marry her. You also have the right to inherit all her father's property. She is sensible, brave, and very beautiful, and her father is a good man. Tonight, I'll discuss the marriage proposal with her father, and he will be content to give her to you as your bride. Then, when we return home from the town of Rages, we will celebrate the marriage. Raguel cannot refuse to let you marry her, and he cannot let any other man have her. If he did, then according to the law of Moses, he would deserve the death penalty. He knows that you're the only man who has the right to marry his daughter and receive the inheritance, so follow my advice.
If not, he'll die.
Yeah. Right. So you got a wife, but if the dad says no, don't worry, he's going to die anyway. Raguel and I will discuss the matter tonight and arrange your engagement to Sarah. When we get back from the City of Rages, we'll take her home with us.
Those who die are justified.
Tobias then said to Raphael, Azarias, my friend, I've already heard about Sarah's 7 former husbands, and how each one dropped dead on his wedding night, even before he could get to the bed. According to the story I heard, a demon killed them. He doesn't harm Sarah, but he kills every man who tries to get near her. I am afraid of this demon. I am an only child, and if I were to die, the sorrow would send my parents to their graves. They don't even have another son to bury them. The angel replied, Have you already forgotten your father's instructions? He told you to marry a woman from your own tribe, so listen carefully to what I say. Don't worry about the demon. Marry Sarah. I know that tonight Raguel will let
Raguel.
Raguel will let Sarah marry you. When you go into the bedroom, take the fish's heart and liver with you and place... That's a fun wedding night. I bet that smelled good, too. When you go into the bedroom, take the fish's heart and liver with you and place them on the burning incense so that the odor will spread through the room. When the demon smells it, he will leave and never come near Sarah again. Before you consummate the marriage, both of you must get up and pray to the Lord in heaven to be merciful to you and to protect you. Don't be afraid. Sarah was meant to be yours from the beginning of creation. You will rescue her from the demon, and she will go with you to your home. You and Sarah will have many children whom you will love very much, so don't worry. Tobias listened very carefully to what Raphael had to say. He knew that Sarah was a relative on his father's side of the family. He began to fall in love with her and look forward to marrying her. At Raguel's house.
Can you really fall in love with somebody that quick?
Love at first sight. When Tobias and the angel Raphael had entered the city of Ecbatana, Tobias said, Azarias, my friend, take me to see Raguel as quickly as you can. The angel brought him to Raguel's house, where they found him sitting at the entrance to his courtyard. Raphael and Tobias greeted him first. Then he replied, Come in, my friends. You are welcome in my home. Raguel brought them into his house and said to his wife Edna, Doesn't this young man look just like my cousin Tobit? Edna asked them, Where do you come from? We are Israelites of the tribe of Naphtali, Tobias and Raphael answered, but we are now living in exile in the city of Nineveh in Assyria. Edna said, You know our cousin Tobit? We certainly do know him, they answered. How is he, she asked. He's alive and well, they replied. Then Tobias added, Tobit is my father. At that, Raguel got up, and with tears in his eyes, he kissed Tobias. Then he said, God bless you, my child. Your father is a good and noble man. What a terrible tragedy that such an honest and generous man should have lost his sight. He threw his arms around Tobias's neck and wept on his shoulders. His wife Edna and his daughter Sarah also wept for Tobit. Raguel gave Tobias and Raphael a warm welcome and had one of his rams slaughtered. After the guests had bathed and were about to sit down and eat, Tobias said to Raphael, Azarias, my friend, when are you going to ask Raguel to let me marry Sarah? But Raguel overheard the question and said to Tobias, Raguel, eat and drink something first and enjoy yourself this evening. You have the right to marry Sarah, and I cannot let anyone else marry her because you are my closest relative. But I must tell you the truth, my son. I've already given her to 7 men, all of them relatives, and each one died on his wedding night as soon as he entered the bedroom. But now, my son, have something to eat and drink. The Lord will take care of you both.
Pause for 1 second.
Yeah.
So the Sadducees say to Jesus when testing him about resurrection, now there were 7 brothers. The first took a wife, and dying he left no offspring. And the second took her, and he died, nor did he leave any offspring. And the third likewise. So the 7 had her, and left no offspring. Last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, when they rise, whose wife shall she be? For all 7 had her as wife. So some think that this could be talking about Sarah. 7 brothers could, the Greek word used there could very well be talking about countrymen or somebody of kin, not necessarily like brothers per se.
It does seem like they're referencing this.
Mayhaps.
Rogwell agreed. Tobias replied, I won't eat or drink until you give me your word. Rogwell agreed. Certainly I will, he said. I will give her to you as the law of Moses commands. God in heaven has arranged this marriage, so take her as your wife. From now on, you belong to each other. Sarah is yours today and forever. May the Lord of heaven keep you both. May the Lord of heaven keep both of you safe tonight. May he be merciful and kind to you. Then Rogwell called his daughter. When she came in, he took her by the hand and gave her to Tobias with his blessing. Take her to be your wife according to the teachings and the law of Moses. Take her safely with you to your father's house. May the God of heaven give you a happy life together. Rogwell asked his wife to bring him a blank scroll so that he could write out the marriage contract. Edna brought him the scroll, and Rogwell wrote out the agreement, saying that Sarah was given to Tobias according to the teachings and the law of Moses. After the ceremony, they began the meal. Rogwell called his wife and said, Get the spare room ready, my dear, and take Sarah there. Edna made up the bed as Rogwell had told her. Then she took Sarah into the room with her, and Sarah began to cry. But Edna wiped away her tears and said, Don't worry, Sarah. I'm sure the Lord of heaven will make you happy this time and not sad.
But this is what you say every time, Mom, and every time they die.
So cheer up, my dear. Then Edna left the room. When they had finished the meal, and it was time to go to the bed, Sarah's parents led young Tobias to the bedroom. This is the moment. He remembered Raphael's instructions.
Get in there, bud.
So he took the fish's liver and heart out of the bag where he had been keeping them. Then he placed them on the burning incense. The smell drove the demon away from them, and he fled to Egypt. That's interesting. Raphael...
Well, look at his name. Asmodeus.
Asmodeus.
Mm-hmm. It's very Egyptian.
Raphael chased after him and caught him there. At once he bound him hand and foot. Huh, okay. When Tobias and Sarah were alone behind closed doors, this better be rated G for our audience here.
Doesn't have to be.
True. Tobias got up from the bed and said to his wife, Get up, dear. Let's pray for the Lord to be merciful and to protect us. Oh, that's okay.
Let's pray.
Sarah got up so that they could pray together and ask God for his protection. Then Tobias prayed, God of our ancestors, you are worthy of praise. May your name be honored forever and ever. By all your creatures in heaven and on earth, you created Adam and gave him his wife Eve to be his helper and support. They became the parents of the whole human race. You said it is not good for man to live alone. I will make him a suitable helper for him. Lord, I have chosen Sarah because it is right, not because I lusted for her. Please be merciful to us and grant that we may grow old together. Then they both said amen and went to bed for the night. Later that night, Rogwell called his servants, and together they went out to dig a grave, because Rogwell thought, Tobias will probably die too, and people will laugh and make fun of us. But they finished digging the grave.
Yeah, get him buried before the sun comes up.
When they finished digging the grave, Rogwell went back into the house and said to his wife, Send one of the servant women to find out if Tobias is still alive. If he isn't, then we'll bury him before anyone finds out. They then sent a servant woman to take a lamp and see if he was still alive. As she opened the door, she could see that both of them were sound asleep. So she went back and told Rogwell and Edna
on their wedding night
that Tobias was alive and unharmed.
Well,
yeah, you break into this.
I was going to say that's dangerous business walking in on a newly married couple on their wedding night.
I know.
Especially, they were devout, pious young Israelites that probably saved themselves for the wedding night,
Yeah. So she went back and told Rogwell and Edna that Tobias was alive and unharmed. Then Rogwell praised the God of heaven. You are worthy of our praise, O God. May your people praise you forever. May they praise you with pure hearts. I praise you because you have made me glad. You have been merciful to us, and my worst fears did not come true. You deserve praise, O Lord. You were merciful to this young couple, the only children of their parents. Now grant them your mercy and protection. Let them live out their lives in happiness and love.
Thanks for not killing young people this time.
Then Rogwell ordered his servants to fill in the grave before dawn. Yeah, then he's going to walk out and be like, what's this grave for? Who died?
Well, hey, was somebody digging out here last night?
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. That was for you.
Funny. The dog got your dog. It was your dog. It was your dog, Tobias. It was your dog. He was out here digging.
We didn't need that spot after all. We planted some corn. Rogwell told his wife to bake enough bread for a big feast. Then he went out to the herd and brought back 2 oxen and 4 rams, which he ordered his servants to slaughter in preparation for the wedding feast.
How about, do you think we could skip to towards the end where they get back? And
So the titles here is you got the wedding feast, the journey to rages, Tobit and Anna are worried.
those who die are justified. They get the
So
money.
they were
money.
noticing Tobit was like, man, my son's been gone a really long time.
Yeah,
and they're
read that part.
Okay. When the time was up and his son hadn't returned, Tobit said to his wife, what can be keeping him? Do you suppose Gabriel had died? Maybe there's no one to give him the money. Tobit was very worried. And they're both sure that he's dead. And
The wife is like, oh, God, our only son
she
is
wouldn't let anyone comfort her.
dead.
She
It's
wept and
your
mourned all
fault.
day.
I always have the good ideas. You don't listen to them.
Oh, it's because this wedding feast was 2 weeks long.
Oh, okay.
So Tobias went and asked, please let me go home now. He asked,
Dude, I got an old dad.
I'm certain my parents have given
Can't
up all
party
hope.
much longer.
I'm certain my parents have given up hope of seeing me again. But Rogwell said, stay, my son. Stay here with me.
I always want them to stay longer.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, hospitality was a big deal in the ancient world.
Eastern hospitality.
It's what Abraham's known for.
I will send messengers to your folks and tell them you're all right. But Tobias insisted, no, I can't. Please let me go back to my father. So Ragwell gave Tobias his bride Sarah without further delay, and half of anything he owned: slaves, cattle, sheep, donkeys, camels, clothes, money, and furniture.
Not only did he get the money that his papa sent him to go get, he came back with some wedding inheritance by the looks of it. So he's going back to his parents. He's loaded. He's like, they got treasures, they got cattle, they got food, they got spices, they got all the wedding gifts also, aside from like wedding inheritance or marriage inheritance. So they're headed back.
So they head back. He's happy.
Pimped up and loaded.
They find the courtyard. Tobit runs up to his dad holding the fish's I don't know if you can hear those children laughing in the back, but that was loud. That was funny. Just silence, and then all of a sudden, Tobias went up to him, holding the fish's gallbladder in his hand. He blew on his father's eyes and steadied him. Don't worry now, father, he said. Tobias then applied the gall, and beginning from the corners of Tobit's eyes, he peeled away the white film. Tobit threw his arms around Tobias's neck and wept for joy. Then he exclaimed, I can see you, my son, the light of my eyes. Praise God. Praise him for his greatness. Praise all his holy angels. May he continue to bless us. Praise all his angels forever. He brought this illness upon me, but now I can see my son Tobias. Then Tobias went happily into the house, praising God at the top of his voice. He told his father how successful he'd been, how he'd not only brought back the money, but had married Ragwell's daughter Sarah, who was on her way and would soon arrive. And then they're all happy. Eventually Sarah gets there. Tobit introduces him.
Welcome her to the family.
So then, once they're all settled in, when the wedding feast was over, Tobit called his son Tobias and said to him, son, be sure to pay your traveling companion, and don't forget to give him a bonus. Tobias asked him, Father, how much do you think I should pay him? I wouldn't mind giving him half of everything we brought back with us.
Very generous, very generous.
He brought me back home safe and sound. He went to get the money for me from Gabriel. He rid my wife of a demon, and he cured your blindness. How much of a bonus should I give him? Tobit answered, give him half of what he helped you bring back. He well deserves that. Tobias then called Raphael. Yeah, so one guy's like, man, I could have died from this demon, but he saved me. The other guy's blind. He's like, dude, this guy healed me. I'd probably give him half everything too. If I was blind and somebody gave me, I would absolutely give him half everything, dude.
True.
Tobias then called Raphael and said to him, "Here, I thought this guy ran to Egypt. Apparently he got back.
He's an angel, I mean.
Tobias then called Raphael and said to him, here's half of what you helped me bring back. You have earned it. Have a safe journey home.
Not necessary, buddy.
Then Raphael called the two men aside and said to them, Praise God, and tell everyone about the good things he has done for you, so that they too will honor him and sing his praises. Let everyone know what God has done. Never stop praising him. It's a good idea to keep the king's secret, but what God does should be told to everyone, everywhere, so that he may be praised and honored. If you do good, no harm will come to you. It is better to pray sincerely and to please God by helping the poor than to be rich and dishonest. It is better to give to the poor than to store up gold. Such generosity will save you from death and will wash away all your sins. Those who give to the poor will live full lives, but those who live lives full of sin and wickedness are their own worst enemies. I've already told you that a king's servant or a king's secret ought to be kept, but the things God does should be told to everyone.
Little does this guy know, he's giving words of wisdom to an angel this whole time.
Well, we got that right here in the next sentence. Now I will reveal to you the full truth and keep nothing back. Ooh. Tobit, when you and Sarah prayed to the Lord, I was the one who brought your prayers into his glorious presence. I did the same thing each time you buried the dead. On the day you got up from the table without eating your meal in order to bury that corpse, God sent me to test you. But he also sent me to cure you and to rescue your daughter-in-law Sarah from her troubles. I am Raphael, one of the 7 angels who stand in the glorious presence of the Lord, ready to serve him. Tobit and Tobias were terrified and fell to the ground, trembling with fear. But Raphael said to them, Don't be afraid, everything's all right. Always remember to praise God. He wanted me to come and help you. I didn't come on my own, so sing God's praises as long as you live. When you thought you saw me eating, I did not really eat anything, it only seemed so. While you were on this earth, you must praise the Lord God and give him thanks. Now I must go back to him who sent me. Write down everything that's happened to you. Then Raphael disappeared into the sky. Tobit and Tobias stood up, and they could no longer see him. Then they began to sing hymns of praise, giving thanks for all the mighty deeds God had done, while his angel Raphael had been with them.
Then I believe the remainder of the book is
just 2 chapters.
Yep.
And then it goes into Tobit is 62. He became blind, lived a full life. After he was restored. Oh, after this, the angel goes back. There's Tobit's Song of Praise.
Yeah.
It's chapter 13 if you want to check it out yourself. Tobit died a peaceful death at the age of 112.
Wow, so he lived quite a bit after that with his eyes being able to see. Because it said he was 62, right? Or was that his son? Was his son?
No,
62?
he was 62 when he became blind.
Oh, I see.
So I noticed something here. It says Tobit was, and then I'll just flip back to another chapter. When the wedding feast was over, Tobit called. Didn't this start out first person? Like I, Tobit?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
So she went back, told Edna that Tobit, Tobias.
It did start out that way. But at some point it
Interesting,
changed.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was when it started giving the history. He said who he was, and then when it started talking about the emperor of Assyria.
Tobit died a peaceful death at the age of 112 and was given an honorable burial in Nineveh. But just before Tobit died, he sent for his son Tobias and told him, My son, take your children and go at once to Media. I believe that God's judgment, which his prophet Nahum announced against Nineveh, is about to take place.
Almost as though.
So Jonah was sent to Nineveh to tell them to repent, and they didn't. Or they did. But then in Micah...
after this, that historically takes place after this.
Right, he's mentioned in Nahum, which you got Jonah saying, hey, Nineveh, repent, and they do. But then they turn their backs on God again, and you have Micah, which is God saying, like, these bad things are going to happen to you if you don't turn, and they do happen. Nahum is the same thing. So he's saying, I think they repented at once in Micah at one point, and God, it's like a warning, like, do not turn your back on me or this will happen. Nahum, those things happen. Or it's talking about those things. So that's what he's talking about. Like, get out of here, because the prophet Nahum's writings are about to come true. Everything that God's prophets told Israel about Nineveh and Assyria will happen. It will all come true, every word of it. When the right time comes, I am absolutely convinced that everything God has said is sure to come true. God does not break his promises. It will be safer for you in Media than in Assyria or Babylon. Those Jews who live in Israel will all be scattered and taken from the good land into exile. All Israel will become a wasteland. Samaria and Jerusalem will be abandoned cities. God's temple will be burned to the ground and will lie in complete ruin for a while. But God will have mercy on his people again, and he'll bring them back to the land of Israel. They will rebuild the temple, but it will not be as splendid as the first temple, not until the proper time has come. But when that time does come, all the people of Israel will return from exile, and they will rebuild the city of Jerusalem in all its former splendor. They will rebuild God's temple in Jerusalem, just as Israel's prophets have foretold. Then all the nations in the world will come back to God. They will worship him as the one and only true God and give up the idols that led them into false worship. The nations of the world will praise everything the everlasting God did by doing what he demands. At the time, God will save all his people of Israel who have been faithful to him. At that time, God will save all the people of Israel who have been faithful to him. He will bring them together to Jerusalem and let them take possession of the land of Abraham, where they will live securely forever. All who love God with their heart and soul will rejoice, but all the sinners and evil people will be wiped off the face of the earth. Now, my children, follow my instructions. Worship God sincerely and do what is pleasing to him. Bring up your children to do what is right. Teach them that they must give to the poor and must always remember to praise God with all sincerity. Tobias, my son, leave Nineveh now. Do not stay here. As soon as you bury your mother beside me, leave. Do not stay another night within the city limits. It is a wicked city and full of immorality. The people here have no sense of shame. Remember what Nadab did to Ahikar, his own uncle, who had brought him up? He tried to kill Ahikar and forced him to go into hiding in a tomb. Ahikar came back into the... I don't know if I'm pronouncing this dude's name right, but it sounds weird. A-H-I-K-A-R. Ahikar came back in the light... Ahikar came back into the light of day, but God sent Nadab down into everlasting darkness for what he had done. Ahikar escaped the deadly trap which Nadab had set for him, because Ahikar had given generously to the poor. But Nadab fell into that fatal trap, and it destroyed him.
I don't believe that reference is in the Bible.
I don't.
Must be to something
I don't think it is either.
extracurricular.
Extra biblical. So now, my children, you see what happens to those who show their concern for others, and how death awaits those who treat others unjustly. But now I am very weak. When they laid Tobit on his bed, he died, and was given an honorable burial. Later on, Tobit's wife died and was buried beside her husband. Then Tobias and his wife moved to Ecbatana in Media, where they lived with Raguel, Tobias' father-in-law. Tobias took care of Edna and Raguel in their old age and showed them great respect. When at last they died, he buried them at Ecbatana. Tobias inherited Raguel's estate, and he had inherited the estate of his father Tobit. At the ripe old age of 117, Tobias died, having lived long enough to hear about the destruction of Nineveh and to see King Cyaxares of Media take the people away as captives. Tobias praised God for the way that he had punished the people of Nineveh and Assyria. As long as he lived, he gave thanks for what God had done to Nineveh.
The end. So this is a story of a lot more happy ending than your typical story of the righteous being persecuted and
this is like
suffering.
It's like Deuteronomy, like it's written by Moses, but like who wrote that last chapter where it talks. This is the same thing, it talks about what Tobias did after Tobit died. And it wasn't even his son that wrote it, Tobias, obviously, because it says what happened when Tobias died.
Yes.
So who is this mysterious author?
Hey, who wrote the Book of Tobit, the apocryphal Book of Tobit, and why isn't it any longer in the Bible?
Sure. So the Book of Tobit is one of those works that's considered part of the Apocrypha, which basically means it shows up in some versions of the Bible, but not in others. It's included in the canon of the Catholic and Orthodox Bibles, but not in the Jewish or most Protestant Bibles. As for why it's not in every Bible, that goes back to differences in how various religious traditions decided on their canon. When Protestant reformers were shaping their version of the Old Testament, they typically aligned it more closely with the Jewish Hebrew Bible, which doesn't include Tobit. Meanwhile, Catholics and Orthodox Christians continue to treat it as scripture. So it's kind of a matter of which tradition you're looking at. It's still read and valued by many, just not universally included in all biblical canons.
Who most likely wrote the Book of Tobit? Who most likely wrote the Book of Tobit?
Well, the authorship of the Book of Tobit is a bit of a mystery since it's an ancient text and doesn't come with a nice, neat byline. It's generally thought to have been written by a Jewish author somewhere between the 3rd and 2nd century BCE, probably originally in Aramaic or Hebrew. We only have it fully preserved in Greek, though. In terms of who the author might have been, it's typically just considered an anonymous, pious Jew who wanted to tell a story that provided moral teachings, cultural identity, a sense of encouragement to the Jewish people during a time of diaspora.
So we see that apparently the reason that it's not accepted is it was in Greek originally.
So yeah, it's first person until... Okay, you got chapter 3. It says, I was so embarrassed and ashamed that I sighed, began to cry. It says his prayer. And then Sarah's prayer at the end of chapter 3, where she's like, I'm looking to you for help, when she stood by the window. And then right after that prayer, it goes, as Tobit and Sarah were praying, God in heaven heard their prayers. And then the rest is third person. Interesting.
And then we also see a bit of Jewish or Israelite folk magic / sympathetic magic.
The fish guts and
in terms of the demon and the fish guts.
Liver and the...
And I wanted to read this passage from the Sefer Haggadah.
The Talmud?
It's portions of the Talmud. It's derived from the Talmud. Is
it the cat?
This is some, this is some,
the cat,
also some sympathetic magic as to how to deal with demons. He who wishes to become aware of demons' existence should take well-sifted ashes and... wait. Okay, yeah, I'm going to read that too. He who wishes to become aware of demons' existence should take well-sifted ashes and sprinkle them around his bed. In the morning, he will see something like the tracks of a cock, a rooster. He who wishes to see them should take the afterbirth of a black cat, that is the offspring of a black cat and firstborn of a firstborn. He should parch the afterbirth in fire, grind it down into a powder, put a generous pinch of mix into his eyes, then he will see the demons. He should pour the rest of the mix into an iron tube and seal it with an iron signet, lest they steal it from him, and should be also cover his mouth, so that he will come to no harm. So then it mentions this rabbi who tried this. He said he did all this. Nevertheless, when he saw the demons, he came to harm. But the sages entreated God's mercy on his behalf, and he recovered.
Recovered his health?
I don't know.
He didn't see demons anymore?
You need to cover your mouth, probably because they could enter.
So the firstborn of a firstborn black cat.
Yep. You gotta...
It said take the what?
Afterbirth.
What is that?
I think that would be like the placenta.
The afterbirth?
Interesting how, the stomach, gut-related... Well, I guess that's more of, womb and afterbirth, but it's interesting how that stuff is associated with... Because what was it? The gall in the liver?
Yeah.
Of the fish? Mm-hmm. So you're taking different organs or different...
I think the gallbladder was for the guy's vision, for Tobit's eyes. But then also, the demon was the liver and heart.
But also they're putting this on this guy's eyes so he can see demons.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Interesting indeed.
So it's afterbirth is the placenta and fetal membranes discharged from the uterus after the birth of the offspring.
Yep. In case you didn't know...
My bad.
Alrighty, you want to hop on over to our next segment of the show?
Our next segment Musical suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Listen up!
Listen up.
It's time to listen up. Musical suggestions of the week. What are you wanting to tell these kind folks to listen to?
Well, besides Nate Visen, of course, which is on anything where you listen to music, I haven't really been listening to much that's outside of the ordinary lately. Just more Eminem, more Chris Webby, a little bit of King Crooked, that kind of stuff. You ever hear of the Rainbow Butt Monkeys?
I have not.
Well, there's a band for you to check out.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if they're good or not. I just know the name from, like, middle school.
Check out the Rainbow... What were they called?
The Rainbow Butt Monkeys.
What genre would that be?
I don't know. I don't remember what even it was. I just remember this one kid always listened to it in middle school. Shout out to Anthony.
Shout out to Anthony. All right, so my musical suggestions. Sorry, I was trying to look for my playlist. My musical suggestions for this week would be...
Dizzy Wright came out with a song called God Ain't Missing No Calls. I like that. That was pretty good.
What's the song
Tasty.
called?
God Ain't Missing No Calls
God Ain't Missing No Calls.
by Dizzy Wright.
All right. So I would say Nothing by Coulter Wall. That's one of my favorite songs by Coulter Wall. Another good one to check out would be Scornful Woman by Oliver Anthony Music. I don't think I've suggested that one before on here. Another one would be First Class by Rainbow Kitten Surprise. Another one...
Classic rock, if you didn't know.
No, Rainbow Kitten Surprise is indie rock.
Nah, they give me like oldies, like old school.
Somewhat reminiscent of the Bee Gees, I would say. Bee Gees, and maybe there's some Phil Collins inspiration in there. Another one would be Beach Chairs by Medium Build. Check out the links for these songs in the show notes.
And check out Nate Visen on Spotify.
Also in the show notes. All right, folks. Until next time, let's keep traversing this strange world. And in the process of all that, let's remember to be neighborly to folks. No. Let's remember to be inquisitive, curious, and good God, don't forget the... Jonathan was supposed to say it, but apparently he's busy doing other things. Swag.
Swag.
And let's remember to be neighborly to folks, because at the end of the day, we're all just strangers in a strange land. Freaking land, yeah. All right, till next time, guys. Peace.
Toodles.
If you would like to contact us, email us at peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Until next time, salutations, my fellow strangers.
What will they think of next?